ज्वलन जेवू नये.
এই প্রশ্নটা
बस
Welcome everybody in the second half of FDP second day, funded by ACRB and conducted by JIS College of Engineering from Bioinformatics Department. I, Vishal Pandey, welcomes you again in the second half of FDP. Now, today we have as our guest Dr. Josna Kumar Mandal. Being MSc in Physics from Jadavpur University in 1986, M.Tech in Computer Science from University of Calcutta, he was awarded PhD in Engineering in Computer Science and Engineering by Jadavpur University in 2000. Presently, he is working as Vice Chancellor, Raiganj University and former Dean, Faculty of Engineering, Technology and Management, Kalyani University, Kalyani, Nadia, West Bengal for 2 consecutive terms, 2008-2012. He started his career as a lecturer at NERIST, Andhra Pradesh in September 1988. He was teaching and research experience for 35 years. His area of research is coding, theory, data and network security, remote sensing and GIS based application, data compression, error correction, visual cryptography and steganography. He has produced 29 PhD degree, 1 submitted 2022 and 8 are pursuing. He has supervised 3M, Phil and more than 80 MPhil dissertations and more than 150 MCA projects. 5 sponsor projects are completed as PL published more than 450 papers in various international journals and conference, out of which 185 papers in international journals. 45 papers published in SCI journals in the last 5 years with the highest impact factor of 7.980. He is a life member of Computer Society of India since 1992, CRSI since 2009, ACM since 2012, IEEE since 2013, and fellow member of IETE since 2012, ex-non-executive member of CSI Kolkata, and ex-chairman from 2015-2016. Now, not making more delay, I would like to call Dr. Suparna Gupta ma'am to fill stage. Sir, please. I will request you to guide and enlighten with knowledge.
So thank you. So this is a very new area, and I think mostly
না স্যার আপনার স্ক্রিনে না
অন করে দিতে হবে না
সরষে নেই তো হবে নাম করো ওটা তো স্মার্ট সেখানে করো বুঝতে হবে so this is comparatively very new area of research. Why I am talking about the area of research? E-learning is known by everyone. Every one of us preparing the slides and every one of us preparing the material and uploading in various web portal and other places. But when someone is taking your material, so do you know how much he is learning and what is the state of his learning and what is his confidence level at a particular chapter or particular topic? I cannot understand. This is the first thing. Second thing is that you see that when we are disseminating some information to a learner for a particular course only, what we are talking that as a complete module for suppose 15 lecture, 20 lecture of a particular course. Have we emphasized on the dependency? That if the chapter 5 is dependent on chapter 10 or chapter 10 is not dependent on chapter 2. That means, you see, without knowing chapter 1, I am going for chapter 10, that means there is a strong dependency. So, here comes the technology enabled learning. What is the new research area? Very new. You will see, even you see that ISO is coming up with the standardization yet to be done. Even you see that I am in the committee of drafting the standard of the textbook in Bureau of Indian Standard. I am one of the editor there. So I am in the team of that editing, that how to write a textbook. It will come very soon. It is, I think, draft has already been prepared, and that draft mostly, I think, contribution from our group, and my contribution is there also. So I am editing that particular, reading that. So you see that this is a very nascent stage and lot of works are even around the globe. I am one of the convener in the world, in the work group member of ISO, that work group 7 in SC 36. So access for all. So they are also, you would like to see that various experts from across the globe, particularly Japan, Korea, Nepal, I think Netherlands, Poland, they are trying hard to standardize these things. Another thing is there that e-assessment. So we are going for various types of assessment software. Proctoring softwares are there. Lot of institutions has taken the proctoring softwares that if you just move your head, if you go to this angle, then it will expel you or do these things. But do we have any standard? Even ISO, I am a member of that team, of the editing team, there also. Still it is not there. We are in the process of doing that. You see, even just last, I think, 3-4 days back, there was a meeting with ISO that we are talking about the presentations from various countries, how they are doing. And then that will be gathered and a draft, working draft will be prepared, I think. March we have the plenary meeting, I think 2nd week of March. So it will be materialized after at least 1.5 years because of the procedures of the ISO. So I am very much connected with that, and the whole team, Bureau of Indian Standard and ISO WC 36, AC 36, W7, 8, 9. Learning, analytics and interoperability. These are the terms. So you see, that means it is a very nascent stage. So if you can contribute something here properly with your model, so in that light, I will propose a model here. Just whatever our research, and this research, you see, you can't imagine that we have started this research in 2015. This is the work published in 2000 in various SCI journals from since 2015, and the scholar award a PhD on this related topic. I think not exactly this. So I think in 2021 only. So we have two paradigm of your research, that you have a classical concept and classical subject, and we have some derived concept and derived subjects. So we should adopt our area to the new emerging subjects so that you can propose your novelty of your work. Because it's very difficult that if I go to the classical cryptographic research, it's a completely mathematical one. So you have to compete with the complete mathematical models and others. and you have to go with the models and the implementation of various tools. But these areas is very new and scope is more. So you can adopt this. Now my area today's I am going for is confidence based learning. So I have added only confidence in your learning. Why confidence? That means when the material is downloaded, so most of the cases we are going for NPTEL learners, we are downloading the materials and we are seeing the videos. So today I am just reading or observing one material, tomorrow another material. There is no correlation between this. So what is the confidence limit you are adopting as a learner? So this model will give you some idea about that, and this will be done by the people or the system who is providing the material, and the complete system is automated. So no manual intervention other than very few and specific. That means you see when you are giving the examination, so still examination is here, you are preparing a question paper and you are disseminating the question paper that is being aggregated to the learning record source. Not as your question will be the absolute question, but what is the question here? That is quite different. You see, I am just talking about the 2D assessment technique. So what is the 2D assessment technique? It is to give you the learning material, not to access your quality. It is not the assessment of e-learning. So there is a basic difference. So that is another segment and that is another field of research. So how to go for the comprehensive based assessment? Most of the cases we are going for MCQ based assessment. But there the field is comprehensive based assessment. So some of our scholars are working on that also. So that assessment is not this assessment. This assessment is that you are given a material first, or you are given a question first about the subject. Why I am giving a question before the reading? The thing is that if there is a prerequisite of a subject, that means you are giving the material on DBMS. So what is the prerequisite? You need to have your file systems and structure of the file systems and the data structure. Without that you cannot go for a DBMS properly. If you skip that subject, that means I should go for that prerequisite. Then I will assess the lacuna or deficiency there. Then I will prescribe the material. And completely it will be the automated system. And this is called the confidence based learning, and that's why these are the topics you see that the proposal. So yellow design. Why yellow design? Yellow design does not mean that I am designing the yellow for data structure. I am designing the yellow for DBMS. I am designing the yellow for you for a particular topic based on the assessment, and I am disseminating the yellow to you, and then again I am examining you, and there we have lot of methodologies. I am coming to that. So, and again these are normally done in some cases in scattered way in the assessment of world of work, that means in your professional world. So you will see that TCS or other lot of people are there going to enhance the skill of the employee, and then they are just taking up by filtering the employees to the next stage or to a new project or something like that. So that is called the world of work. So this confidence based learning, that means I have given that you have to do this course, you have to do this course, you have to go for this course. They are continuously upgrading through the employees. And then they need a certificate that you have to go for this certificate if you need to have this project. So that is called the world of work. And then when I am going for world of work, or it is called the authentic learning. So when I am going for the authentic learning, that means I am prescribing the content based on your ability, and we are mapping through the authentic learning, and then design and the conclusion and some applications from our part. So you see the technology enable learning. This leads to the flexible learning environment, and also we used to trace your progress. Whether you are progressing towards your mastery or you are going down. That is another perspective of this confidence-based learning. So, you see that we are going for the enhance the skill set and skill analysis, and this is in a very, very nascent stage. And when you are talking about the learning, you see that this learning normally emphasis on 3 domains. First is cognitive, next one is adaptive, and third one is psychomotor. So we are concerned about the cognitive domain. What is the cognitive domain? If we go for it, it has 6 levels of that cognitive domain. What our e-learning says, one is knowledge, other one is comprehension, third one is application, fourth one is analysis, sixth one is synthesis, and fifth one is synthesis, and sixth one is evaluation. And when you are talking about the learning approach, this is not neural network based deep learning. We have a deep and surface learning. So as per Bloom's taxonomy, so every one of us, you see, aware about the Bloom's taxonomy because of the NBA and all other things, and you are lot of people knowingly or unknowingly, you are 2 terms are very familiar, CO and PO. In all courses, you will see at the beginning you have done CO, and at the end you have the PO, and you are going to map of that. So do you know about that? How do you map that properly? That means most of the cases we are not aware of the Bloom's taxonomy. That is another problem. We are mapping that. Definitely it is a guess mapping. So now, based on the Bloom's taxonomy, we are going for all these things. But in terms of the learning, we have 2 types of learning. One is called the surface learning, and other one is called the deep learning. So out of these steps, you see that your knowledge and comprehension, these are called the surface learning. And other 4, your evaluation, synthesis, analysis, application, this is called the deep learning. That means, you see, when I am going for an individual course or any other course or whatever may be, do you know whether you have gathered the deep learning or surface learning? So you have got a certificate only. You cannot judge even yourself. So how do you judge the student? So it is not a mere classroom teaching and learning. So nowadays you see the paradigm is shifted towards the online courses. So if online courses are there, so how do we restrict a learner that you have learned this or you don't learn this? So we are only talking about the learning and certificate. These are 2 objectives. So here we are talking about the surface learning and deep learning. So I think this is very interesting. I am coming to that. This confidence-based learning, the history started with, you see, Darwin, Hunt, Leclerc, Support, and Bruno. They have started this type of thinking, and that is just coming up and going to mature. Continuously, I think next 5 years, I think it will be matured and everyone will come to that. That means here we are going for handling the knowledge and confidence. So most of the cases we are talking about only the knowledge. So I have gone for a course, I have acquired a knowledge. What is the proof of my knowledge? The certificate is the proof of my knowledge. Whether you have at all gone for that course, some of the courses and other things you know, the history, how it happens, I can get a certificate within 2 days or 6 days. So that is, that never define your confidence level. So if you go to your world of work, you will be in trouble. You may have a certificate, you may assign a job based on your certificate, but you may mislead yourself. You cannot come out with the solutions given, asked by the organization. So, we are going for customized assessment system, and then we are giving the customized content. What is that? I am going for assessment. What is the assessment? It is 2D assessment. Most of the cases it is the MCQ. So how do we say that MCQ is a 2-dimensional assessment? Yes or no? So most of the cases you know that where I mark it, I may have 100% confidence and I may have 0% confidence. Still I am marking that with my pencil. And your OCR is taking your answer, but still your answer is correct. You don't have any knowledge about that topic, still you may 100% marks. That means along with that, we need to enhance the system with two different things. One is that, what is the level of your confidence you judge it? And second thing is that, how the level of confidence is progressing you in terms of your nonlinear dynamics. What is that? Suppose I have 10 chapters or 10 topics. So all 10 topics, probability or the importance I have given is the probabilistic values. Total probability is 1 and I am going for a Hopman tree. Just simple, I will come to that. Then after the assessment, the structure of the tree will be changed. It will be a dynamic Hopman tree. And if you come to the root, it may be a muscle. But what is the problem? The problem is that complete nonlinear dynamics is to be available to you or to the learning assessment system who is providing you the assessment material or the normal learning material. That means what is there? It is called the LRS. Learning record source. Then only you can keep on the track of that. So, what is the phases of confidence-based learning? The phases of confidence-based learning is that diagnosis, prescribe and learn. That means I am first diagnose your ability and your knowledge and comprehension. Then I will prescribe that particular document based on your attainment. And then you go for your learning. And again I shall go for the assessment. So like that. So the diagnosis phase consisting of confidence-based assessment and deficiency diagnosis. So two things are there. And prescribed phase provides the customized learning plan. It's not a simple learning plan you download from anywhere, from NPTEL and there you register. No, it will be provided by the system based on your assessment or deficiency diagnosis and learning phase help of your learning. So what is the objective for this lecture? Its objective is the comprehensive structure of the content which can be used dynamically. Content X can be given to you, Y can be given to another person based on the level of the confidence and monitoring mechanism and mapping to that to your authentic learning and through a comprehensive framework. So I have already discussed that you need a 2D assessment which is absent in a conventional confidence based learning. That means you are learning, you are getting the certificates. But here we are identifying the deficiency both in classroom and world of work. And as a result, I am giving a customized learning content. Now, then how do we achieve that? We can achieve that in terms of development of learning object. Now, if we develop a learning object for entire course of C++ or data structure, will you do this purpose or serve this purpose? No. Because you see that I have to emphasize on the learning object. It should be the molecular level object, not a complete object what is available in your normal Coursera or NPTEL. You go to the course, you will get the complete course. So no dependency is analyzed. Nothing is done. It is only disseminated. But it is a very good initiative, definitely. But we are criticizing because of we are trying to advance it. We are trying to go for a new framework. World of research is going for a new framework. So that's why, so you have to design and develop a learning object. Now, when I am designing a learning object, I am designing a learning object based on the assessment from a learner, from learner X and from learner Y, two are different. That means my learning object and your learning object will be different for the same subject. Who will do that? Your system will do that. And that is your confidence-based learning system. And that is our model. So, when I am going for a 2D assessment, so your atomic confidences, how you are coming for the confidences? That means, if we go for a small modular material and if we go mastery for all, that means I am master for that particular material. So that is called the ACEs. So this is called augmented confidence based learning because normal confidence based learning has lot of problems. Now this is the model, normal model. You see that we have the two-dimensional assessment technique and then we have the diagnosis phase, we have the update phase, we have the prescribe phase. What are the phases? I have told you everything is here. You see, we have a 2D assessment, we are going for a DD, then we are designing the learning object and we are disseminating the learning object and we are going for assessment and improvement. So, one thing is major problematic here that suppose today you have given me one learning object, I have learned, I have given an examination and my output is that not satisfied. Then again you are giving me some learning object. So what to be given? Where is the deficiency? These have to be extracted from my learning. That means diagnosis. So I have to go for the diagnosis. And suppose today I have given one examination with a learning object, you have prescribed another learning object for that same topic because I have some deficiencies or some conceptions of some misconception or I may have some mastery. So based on that object is given. Now next assessment is there. So how do you compare these two assessments? Where to keep all these things? That is why another proposal is that you have to go for LRS. So everywhere you will see these names. Now these are buzzwords that learning record source. That means your history, your complete record is to be kept somewhere. And then I can compare it with that. Whether you are here, you are here. You are there, you are here. So this is the model And then another thing is that the dependency structure analysis. The dependency structure analysis is very important, and normally we used to define a dependency structure matrix based on the various LOs. So now come to the learning object. What is the learning object now? So I think it is clear to you. This chunk of learning content developed using conventional tools and technique which is insufficient here. Because I have to diagnose first, then only I can prescribe the learning object. So, based on the performance, instructional objects are prescribed, which is called the learning object. That means learning object is not any static material. It is a material being prepared or pick up from the learning source based on your deficiency or the requirement. This is the basic difference of normal e-learning and confidence-based learning. That means I have the complete material, but I will prescribe in a particular material based on your need. That is your confidence-based learning. So, what is the methodology? The methodology is that, suppose I have a task or I have a chapter. So, you have to divide the task into several micro tasks. Suppose task P is defined into T1 to Tn, and you have, when you are designing, so that you can change the module anytime. So, when you are going for that, suppose you have task T1 to Tn, and then you have to analyze the dependency of the task. What are the dependency of the task of that particular module? That task may be independent, tasks may be dependent on others, there may be multiple dependency, there may be multi-level dependency. X depend on Y, Y depend on J. That means T1, T2, T3. So, there may be T1 and T3 independent. Now, another concept is there. So, in this juncture, we are thinking that tasks are independent. The tasks are non-overlapping. But there are a lot of tasks in any subject. These are overlapping tasks. So, in that case, you see, when you are going for deadlock detection, you see, you are going for a graph. You are going for spanning tree. So, spanning tree is not the subject of your deadlock or operating system. It is the subject of your graph theory. That means you have some overlapping of your deadlock detection in operating system and your spanning tree. So, because I have to go for a minimum spanning tree. That if there is no cycle, then deadlock is not there. It's the first determination of single resource allocation system, not multiple. So, you see that we have to go for the overlapping of the task also. Not only the dependency. So, it may be partial overlapping with dependency, partial overlapping with multi-level dependency. So, you can see with the graphical structure here. You see that you have to analyze the dependency in the molecular level. When you are designing a learning object, but ever you thought about this? No. You just write the syntax, you write the example, you write the definition, that's all. Your material is over. And you upload the material and give the material to the students. So this is the technology difference. What the research direction is coming up, and which will go next 5 to 10 years. So you see that there are independent tasks, there are dependent tasks, there are multiple dependency tasks, there are multi-level dependency tasks. But overlapping is not there. Again you come to here. You see? So all are existing with overlapping. You see? Overlapping, dependency, multi-level dependency. That means if you define all these things, that means if you can maintain this granularity, then you can tag anyone with anyone. But these restrictions will come automatically. You cannot tag everything with everyone. So you have to think of that, and your program will be capable of doing that. Or your system or NLP, whatever maybe we are designing. These are the potential generation of the NLP based systems. These are not done manually. That means these are the basic background of this designing of learning objects. So definitely any instructional object or learning objects, we are defining the task into molecular level. And what is the mathematical model of this? So I am just giving you just glimpse of that. First you see that for a learner K, first we are choosing some MCQ. You start with the MCQ. This MCQ is for judging the learner. What is the prerequisite, whether that is mastery stage or not. So based on that we are doing this. Then we are judging the confidence level, and based on that you see that I am just there are some formulas we have designed, and that formulas, based on that we are going for designing the LOs and other things. So these are some of the algorithms, some things. These are more relevant here. This is real. What are the inputs and what are the outputs? And what are the intermediate? So there are input, there are output, there are some intermediate. Because you may have mastery, you may have misconception. That has to be determined by the system. So you see that some questions are there, set of questions are there, item banks are there. So you have to have item banks. You cannot give some 5 questions and then it will be all. No. You have to have some system of aggregated item banks. And you have to have aggregated question banks. And you see what is the output? That average level of confidence of individual learner, not in a classroom learner for all at a time with simple question. I am giving a single questions and everyone is answering and I am going for a relative merit. So we are differing from that for the confidence-based learning. We are trying to enrich the confidence of a particular learner on a particular subject, and you see that the learning approach or the item and task, so these are the intermediates. So whether you are going for a surface learning or whether you are obtaining a deep learning, that is also intermediate. Now why this is intermediate? The thing is that mastery is the output. These are all iterative process. So I am coming to that in the case study. Yeah. You see, when we are designing here, what we are giving? We are learning object. You see, concept, terminologies, taxonomies, and we are going for the extra knowledge and reference, giving some examples, giving some assessment, and also here providing some prerequisite. So the schematic diagram is like that. You see, if we have the prerequisite, you give some media objects, text, audio, whatever may be. There is no bar for that. You can go for a video, you can go for audio, you can go for text. So learning mechanism can be anything. So there is no specific mechanism. Even I am going for a concept, terminologies and taxonomies, definitely text, audio, media, image, animation, everything. In all cases, extra knowledge, example illustration and assessment. So you see, in your assessment, you are going for the media object and text. There we are not going for the audio and image, everything. So there we are just consolidating with this thing. So let us consider a typical case. Just I am showing you how. You see that we can start with the 20 number of MCQ questions given to the learner, and in MCQ questions associated with the level of knowledge. You see, we have gone for some model of assessment, not this assessment, comprehension based assessment. Almost we have collected 2000 answers from 2000 students across the country. And that model answer we have taken from various engineering colleges, at least 25 engineering colleges from the country, and we have defined a data set completely, and then that model answer has been aggregated, and for 100 questions on operating system we have done it, and we have generated some outputs, and that we have an article paper published in, I think, Education Technology of Impact Factor 5.5, just 3-4 months back it has been published. So you see that, let us consider the first iteration. Suppose these are done in the first iteration. You see that I have 4 tasks, T1, T2, T3 and T4. So you see that status of T1 is doubt, doubt, doubt and ignorant. So what are the components of the learning? You see that add the concept and terminologies, add extra knowledge if you have the ignorant stage, and examples and assessment of the errors you are defining. You see, go to the next stage. You see, in the next stage, T2 has reached to the mastery. So as it has been reached to the mastery, so no learning content is given. That means T2 is over. Somewhere I have to come out with that. Now in conventional learning systems and assessment system, what you used to do? So if I have 5 questions to answer, I have to provide 8 questions. So 3 chapter is already skipped from the knowledge. Because I know that if I am a smart student, so if I have 20 chapters and question is coming out of 10 chapter mostly, so 5 chapter I can do. So is it a mastery stage? Never. That means the conventional learning system, what is the drawback? That out of 8 questions I am answering 5 questions. 3 questions I am leaving. That means that 3 questions I may not have confidence at all. I may not have knowledge at all. I may have some misconception. So I cannot consider that in your evaluation. But out of 5 questions I have answered excellently. I am getting a very good marks. And my percentile is at the top. Still, I have some lacuna. We cannot define that, we cannot determine that, which is possible in your confidence-based learning. So, that is the basic difference. So, here you see that it has got mastery on this T2. So, I had 4 tasks. So, out of 4, 1 task is mastery. So, no learning content is prescribed for that. It is off. Now, it was again doubt. So, based on the doubt, I have given the content. Here also, I am giving the content. Now, go to the next stage. Third iteration. You see, still here mastery doubt. From misconception, it has come to the doubt. That means it is going to the upward direction. Okay? Now, go to the next. You see? Now, in the 4th iteration, you have the mastery. That means you have given the examination 4 times already. Still, you are on that same loop. You cannot come out from that loop. Suppose if you have 4 chapters, that means you have to go mastery for all 4 chapters. And it will be diagnosed and it will prescribe the content. It will diagnose, it will prescribe the content. So now you see at the 4th iteration, we have mastered in 2, we have doubt here. Again you are prescribing the content based on this diagnosis of the deficiency. Now in the next, you have the again mastery here, but doubt here. In the 4th iteration, in the 5th iteration, you see you have the mastery for all. That means you can come out from that particular loop and you are getting the confidence, and the system is giving you that you have the confidence in all levels. So you have done the mastery of the subject, and that is your confidence-based learning. And assessment, you see how I am going for the assessment. I am not going for the assessment at the end of your learning course. I am assigning you the learning object based on your lacuna, based on your deficiency, and I am prescribing it time and again. And that is called your confidence-based learning. So these are the some that whatever we have done, and you see this quadrant-wise where you are posted based on the LRS. In each step, I can put it. What are that? I am coming to that. I will get it later on. So these are, I think, we can skip it. What are the systems and what we are doing. Now, you see, we have started with the MCQ. So what is the problem in the MCQ? The problem is that we cannot guess whether the student or the learner has the confidence or little confidence or some doubt or misconception. In MCQ, it never be possible. So, for that confidence-based assessment is there. Whatever I have told you that still now that there, you see, we have doubt, we have uninformed, we have misinformed or mistake, and we have the master. 4 quadrants are there. So where you are posted in each iteration, if we can find it, that if you can provide the learning content or learning object based on that deficiency, so your learning process will be proper. So various models are there. I am not going into that. You see, this is one of the models. What? You see, you have the stem of the question. What are the stem of the questions? We have one answer and other distractor. But based on that, we are adding something. Confidence level. Is it full confidence or partial confidence? Now still it may be a guesswork from you. You can put anywhere. That confidence don't have by the system. So we have to believe ourselves and we have to believe on the system. So system cannot do if you do deliberate mistake. So in your information system processing, so 4-3 is written oftenly 3-4. It is a transposition error. But if desperately if you write that, it is not a transposition error, it is a desperate error. No one can correct that. Because 80% cases, our system works on the inputs. Only less than 20% cases our system works on the CPU. That's why you see most of the cases you will see that when I am buying a software, you see 5 users is more than sufficient. In any organization, whatever be the number of employees, why 5 users is sufficient? Because 5 users for the CPU time. And most of the cases we are doing the input-output works. 5% at a time CPU works with 10.1 or 10.2. It is very difficult. So, and another thing is that you have the stem of the questions, we have the confidence level. Then we have here partial confidence levels. That means I can define the confidence level and partial confidence level. Based on that, I can define a formula to judge your confidence matrix in terms of level of confidence. You see, I think we have tried with the level up to 5. Yeah. So these are the inputs and output. So same thing, I am just skipping this. So again, so time is very short, so that's why I am not going into details. Again, what is the inadequacy of the 2D assessment? You see, I am going for a very classroom assignment and I am giving you some confidence level where you may or may not be properly judged, that when there is a misconception or when there is some error or when some deliberate error, so system cannot handle with that. So for that, you see again some enhancement. What is that? Till now we never gone for LRS. Only you have told that you go for a question, you go for answer. If it is done, not done properly, you prescribe the LRS, prescribe the content. But we never trace what was the previous chain. So that is done using the LRS, learning record source. That means it has to be kept. But definitely your storage will be huge one. When you are implementing a learning system, so LRS is a major concept. So we have some work on that. I'm not going to do that. Yeah. This is the structure of the LRS. You see, we have the XAPI tin can statement generation. We have the learner's metadata. So still now we never kept anywhere the learner's metadata. What was the status of a learner? What was the position of a learner and confidence level of a learner? No metadata was written or no metadata was kept. There is no concept of metadata. So you see, these are manager learner feedback. These are all automated. Not like that people doing that. Administrator, that means is a manager means is a management system. Manager means management system. Learner is learning only and feedback systems taken by the total system and everything. When I am diagnosing the deficiency, everything is kept on the learning records too. You see that you are going for a confidence-based assessment using the LRS. So in normal cases, it was not there. Now, enhancement. Now, what is the gradual steps forwarding? Nowadays, everyone is talking about the LRS. And you see, we are based on this LRS, we are identifying the gap or we are analyzing the gap and we are diagnosing the deficiency and critical gap. So it is called the confidence based assessment, not learning. Yeah. So when I am going for the designing of this confidence based assessment, definitely the atomic competencies is to be defined in terms of a dependency structure matrix. That means whether the materials are independent or dependent, so that it has been defined in terms of a dependency structure matrix along the instructional object like this. You can see it. Yeah, this is the dependency structure matrix. In all components of that, you have to define a complete matrix of the dependency structure. And then, after that, now, what I was talking about that, we have to go for a non-linear data structure for correlating the IOs or task, whatever may be. So all tasks you have a probability or weight. So complete weight is 1. So from there you definitely you can generate some probability. You know that how we can prepare the Hopman tree. Just simply I am talking about that. I can prepare the Hopman tree. So now in the next iteration what will happen? So it will be the stages. That means from here, suppose AC11 is coming here. Suppose let's see. You see. So ultimately AC will come here. That means you will reach the master. And which level of confidence you are there, you can define the level. These are based on the iteration. Based on your number of examinations you are giving and the learning record or learning materials provided to you. That means when you are reaching the mastery, that will go off from this structure and others will come. So everyone will go up, you have reached the mastery. So writing the program on that is very efficient if you define in that way. And that is why the weightage of a particular object or the learning object is very important and the dependency of the particular object. So how do we assign that? So if you can do that dependency analysis and the weight of the particular task, you can do this. So now this is, you may say that this can be biased. Yeah. You may say that this can be biased. So for that, nowadays, lot of people are using the nonlinear dynamics. That means chaos theory. That means their complete randomization is there. You use some chaos theory, that means chaotic map, where you are generating some random number. So chaos never generate random number, they generate the real numbers. From there it is generate the binary number. And prior to that we have various tests. Suppose I am talking you that with the test of first is monobit test, then serial test, then poker test. These three tests, if passed, then whatever the string you have generated through the chaotic map, it is completely random. Because you see that, suppose I have generated 5 1 followed by 5 0. So you see 5 1 and 5 0. So 50% 1 and 50% 0. So you may say that, okay, perfectly this is my random number. But it is absolutely biased. So this nonlinear dynamics can generate this type of bias free. This lot of people are using. Based on that you can generate, and then you are mapping that with the task. Randomly you map the task, so it will generate the unbiased situation and tree, and you see that how to go for the update and mastering. These are given here. So the complete architecture for augmented learning systems, that you have to have 2D assessment system, you have to go for the confidence based assessment, not only the learning. Then you have to go for the diagnosis of the deficiency, you have to define the yellow. To define the yellow, you have to go for the dependency structure matrix, then you prescribe, you learn and update, and you use the LRS, so your output will be authentic. So that is my lecture, I think, as a very nutshell. So this is the achievements, whatever you can identify that. You can go for assessment, you can prescribe the content, but before prescribing the content, how you design the content, how you design the instructional objects. So that will be your achievement. And you can work various futuristic works you can go for it, that your subject wise 2D assessment, LRS in HRMS, and automated identification of the dependencies. We have defined the dependencies manually, but that can also be generated automatically. That is, you can work on that. So these are some of the publications we have done. So all are not there. I think old publications are there. So recent publications are not there. So this is my lecture. I don't know how you can interpret it. It's a very new subject, very interesting subject, but this is very rarely adopted anywhere. Now, if you have any questions, I can try to answer. Is understandable or not?
Yes, sir.
So, have you got the subject that what is normally learning and what is now confidence-based learning? So, there is a basic difference in one line that if you can understand that, that is more than sufficient. The rest of the thing will do with
Sir, we
you.
are now trying to use group taxonomy.
Every one of us here have to use because of the MBA.
Yes.
That is the bindings. It is very important. But we are not so aware of that level of the cognizance or the confidence of a particular learner.
Thank you, sir, for an enlightening presentation on confidence learning. It was very graceful to hear you all. Now I would request Dr. Suparnadas ma'am. Sorry, Suparnadas Gupta ma'am to come up and felicitate our guests with the honor.
Thank you. Thank you. It's fine. Now, what about ভালো লাগলো লেকচার না
না না স্যার ভালো লেগেছে
আমরা তো কনভেনশনালি সব সময় কম্পিটিশন নিয়ে
What an uplifting and productive day it has been. We extend our sincere gratitude for the speakers and attendees for the conference. We would look forward to see you again at the same place with the same energy.
পিপিটিটা
Tomorrow we will be conducting all the sessions online, so you all are requested to join online.
আমার ওয়েবসাইটে
Till then,